Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, I've had my coffee now. But you guys, I can do the Clark the Shark show without coffee. Waking up at 5 in the morning, no coffee, and just do it. That's how good my brain is. Self taught. There isn't a lot of support, you know, when Sharky comes around or whatever. They all know, come on, who the master is of disaster. I can dig it. But 5'6", high squeaky voice. Um, the girls loved me, you guys, back in 88 or whatever, 23 years old. Actually, it was weird, you guys. I never gave myself a chance, and yet then I would then I would or something, and one day, and then I'd build up all to this moment, and then the chick would laugh and say no or something. And then I wouldn't even be heartbroken. Like, I would laugh too. Shark, of course, you're a fucking retard. Who the fuck would go out with you? And then later on, as I got older, I got still 5'6" or 5 foot nothing. And then I discovered younger girls would look up to me as a father figure, a big brother, if you will, or maybe a filthy old uncle. It's all the same thing here on the Clark the Shit Show, pretty much, you guys. And it's been a struggle for Clark the Shark to get acceptance, but not with Deep Purple. I think these guys would hang out with me because they'd be too busy fighting amongst themselves. Ian Gillan would be like, if Richie's in here, I'm not on the tour bus. I don't want him around. And like Richie Blackmore is a guy like you don't, dude. You respect that guy. Everyone does, and that might be the problem. But Ian Gillan would man up to Richie Blackmore, and it created a nightmare situation within the band. I mean, these guys were all confident British gents making not really prog or, it's not, it's got Ian Pace, who's an incredible drummer, but they're great musicians, in that Led Zeppelin, The Who, kind of way, but better than both of those bands. They keep it in 4/4 for the most part, you guys. They're not Eloy or Genesis, but for a kick-ass, heavy, hard-rocking metal band, dude, they are my number one band of all time. Probably because of Glover and Pace, but dude, there's a lot of reasons. Gotta love Ian Gillan, who I love even more when he forayed into one album with Black Sabbath, weirdly. Later on, long after this, you guys, and you guys just knew I would review Who Do We Think We Are before, any other. I mean, I've reviewed every Deep Purple album on YouTube many times, and the accounts get deleted. And then I write a letter to YouTube, like, why are you deleting? It's not political. Clark the Shark is not. In the old days, long ago, in 2007, 8, 9, 10, I probably was political. That was before they gave driver's licenses to non-citizens, and we were arguing about gays and Prop 8 and abortion and just nuance differences. But now, when let go to practice their form of democracy, if you will, the Democrats, we see what they really want to do in California. And with Barack Obama and Scranton Joe all across the country, not just California, when they don't get their way and people aren't voting for them anymore, like 2010 and 2014 midterms, the Democrats have a solution. Just fucking bring in and smuggle in 40 million people from Russia, Poland, Central America, Ukraine, Slovenia, Italy, India, Indonesia, everywhere, China. It doesn't matter, you guys. They will get Democrat voters and then stick them in all the swing states. It almost worked in 2024. I think it did work in 2020, but you know what they say. Not everything can last forever, baby. All bad things must come to an end, too, just like good things. Here on the Clark the Shit Show from the Golden EIB Shitrophone, because I fixed my own toilet. And I'm very proud, you guys. I'm not really a plumber anymore. I got into swimming pools, and but once in a while I tinker around with a toilet. And dude, if you want to email me or call me, I will come and fix your toilet all over the country. My spirit will come and breathe on your toilet and fix it right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Because it's no longer a golden EIB sharkerphone, nor is it a microphone. It's a shitrophone. Because I made it out of human shit. And it sounds fucking great. It's better than Hush Bimbo or Michael Weiner, Savage, whatever his name is, Anthony Weiner, Cuomo, Hannity. Hush Bimbo, the ghost, and the great one, Mark Levin. Mark R. Levin, author of Men in Black and other great books. And that other great one, Wayne R. Gretzky. I don't know if it's R. I think it's Wayne Douglas Gretzky, but it doesn't matter. He's not great when Clark the Shark's in the room. No one is. Number one worldwide, syndicated New York City, WABC radio. Worldwide, baby, because I'm talking about Who Do We Think We Are? Deep Purple. This is the album that broke up the band or something. And all of the guys, all five of them, they were like, oh, this is a bullshit album. Yeah, it's terrible. And then, of course, after this, Deep Purple would get with, like, I guess, Coverdale. I'm not sure if it was right away, I think. Maybe. Glenn Hughes. And when Ian Gillan left, you know, Glover had to leave, too. Because those two came into the band in that weird circumstance back in 68 or 69, where the great Rod Evans, who, you know, you got to respect, you guys, as a, you know, vocalist later with Captain Beyond, he was dispensed and eschewed from the band in favor of Roger Glover. And, you know, the great Ian Gillan, and then the rest is history. You know, it was all meant to be, I guess. I don't like that, you guys. I don't like it when bands kick out people, especially great people. It's happened to me too, Clark the Shark, but where the band kicks me out, and they usually come back to me, and they're like, shit, we got to get Clark the What are we doing? We're not a band without Clark the Shark. I mean, the whole South Bay, Redondo Beach, Torrance, it isn't a music scene without Clark the Shark. When I left about 25 years ago or so, yeah, longer than that. I've been in San Diego a long time. But the scene, I've even had people say when I go there, they're like, dude, Clark the Shark, come back and like be a producer, like an arranger, like conductor, be a drummer, or, you know, just show up at the gig. We need Clark the Shark breathing on our music scene again. But you guys, I'm 60 years old. It's coming near the end, you guys. Another 10, 20, I don't know, something. And it will be off to heaven for Clark the Shark. And God's like, I'm not so sure, Sharky. You got kind of an attitude. I'm not, you know, I question your beliefs. And I'm like, God, I am a monotheist. I know there's a God. You know, the weird story about how God sent his only son and to battle evil. We're all battling Satan. I believe there is a Satan, you guys, but the Bible is, I guess it's like an approximation, you know, like an allegorical estimation. But taken as absolute truth, in fact, I don't know. I'm very torn. right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Sort of the way I'm torn about Deep Purple. Who do we think we are? Now, this album isn't one of the greatest Deep Purple albums, but to me, Clark the Shark, it is. I really appreciate it. They made a meat and potatoes, weird, chunky album here with a bunch of great songs. Some of them sound stolen or recycled from other songs, and that's okay because I do that too right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And as I tell people, the great and immortal Blake Douchebag did that. People are like, no, Sharky, he was original, unlike you. I'm like, no, you guys, I've heard some songs where Blake steals. He does, just like everyone else. And of course, the guy in Green Day has made a whole multi-million-dollar career out of stealing songs. The fucking guy in Green Day must have stole 75 songs to build their recording catalog, if you will, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. But I'm not talking about Blake Douchebag or Green Day or the 1990s, which I hate. Fucking hate all those bands, you guys. I'm here to talk about the great rock immortals, Deep Purple. And really, this is like their final album, you guys. It is. There was Perfect Strangers much later, long after this. But in the, in their heyday, the classic lineup, this was the end, you guys. And then, they turned into that band like Come Taste the Band, and all that. Where it really wasn't Deep Purple anymore. They should have changed the name, I think they got another singer after Coverdale. I'm not sure, maybe before, but he was of that lineup, that classic lineup, they have some interesting stuff. Burn, of course, awesome. But I still have acceptance issues with the latter Deep Purple that doesn't have Ian Gillan. Nor Roger Glover. Everyone in this band, I want to call him Nigel or Ian. I don't want to call them their names. See, these guys are Spinal Tap, you guys. It's like Nigel Tufnell, Nigel Blackmore, Ian Blackmore, Ian Glover. I don't want to call them their real names. They're all Nigel. Hanging out in a pub and arguing. I mean, these guys would argue mainly just Richie Blackmore versus Ian Gillan. Two men who hate each other. Literally from the day Ian Gillan first walked into the rehearsal studio room, if you will, with Deep Purple. That's what John Lord and everyone said. They said, we're a harmonious band. But these two blokes don't like each other, And they didn't, you guys. You know what it is Ian Gillan is a straight shooter. He's kind of like his own legend, thing. And when he sees a rock god, legend like Richie Blackmore on guitar, who's just this six-string gunslinging wizard, like beyond Jimmy Page or Clapton or Yngwie or something. I mean, Richie Blackmore, dude, he's fucking incredible. He's the greatest guitarist, in my view, Clark the Shark, out of all of them. I mean, it's insulting to compare like a sloppy, retarded moron like Jimmy Page, who can't even really play guitar. He's marginally better than Pete Townsend or maybe not as good, yet he gets all this cred and, Credo or, oh, dude, Jimmy Page, he's so incredible. Zeppelin's so fucking amazing. They're not, you guys. Their songwriting is, they overwhelm you with their great all-around musicianship, mainly because of John Bonham and John Paul Jones. But Plant and Page, dude, I don't know. Those guys they're writing on top of that foundation or something. I mean, they're great, they're good, blah, blah, but they are no Deep Purple, you guys. No way. And The Who, love them, dude. Oh, they're awesome, but they are no Deep Purple. And the Stones, no, certainly not. The only thing better than Deep Purple would be like Genesis, and all that shit. Tony Banks, ELP, yes. Jethro Tull kind of shit, Atomic Rooster. But you guys, I wouldn't even put those above the mighty and incredible Deep Purple, dude. And it's just a damn shame that egos prevailed here and this band collapsed right when they were onto something and they were going to be this incredible band in the 1970s, and they never were. Like, it just, you could make the argument that Burn is fucking awesome, but with Hughes and all that and Coverdale, but dude, that's not Deep Purple, you guys. No way. Not for me, anyway, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And who do we think we are? There's quotes on the back of this album where Richie's like, I could wipe the floor. And they can all just wipe the floor with anyone. And then you listen to this album and it's kind of mediocre. And you're like, dude, don't toot your own, too much there. Like, but me, Clark the Shark, I like a meat and potatoes, interesting album that maybe doesn't have all these incredible hits or, this album is no Machine Head or In Rock or Fireball. It isn't, you guys. I'm going to be perfectly honest and frank here and earnest on the Clark the Shit Show. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't the best Deep Purple album, but it's like my favorite. And I can say this about a lot of bands, like the Who by Numbers is like my favorite Who album. And Cornerstone by Styx is like my favorite. And those albums suck or something. But I, Clark the Shark, love them because they're interesting. Some people try to say like Black and Blue is the Stones' best. No, don't go there, you guys. Maybe you could argue for Emotional Rescue. Yeah, I wouldn't go there either. But when a band does an interesting album, you guys. Interesting counts a lot for me, Clark the Shark, like more or something than, It does, you guys. I like interesting. I don't like, now basically this album, I own the vinyl of this in my huge collection, you guys. I don't know where this album went, but scratchy vinyl I got at the Rhodium in Torrance. I don't care what the stars say, and it just fuck Rolling Stone and all them. Of course, Woman from Tokyo is awesome. Incredible Deep Purple classic. But after that, this album, hard rocking and kick-ass as it is, it tries to get sophisticated and clever and melodic and, I love Super Trooper, of course, you guys, and Smooth Dancer. Mary Long, not so sure, and Rat Bat Blue. I love Place in Line, though. Great song, it is. There's just a lot happening with John Lord and Richie. My favorite song is Our Lady. Seems to be about or inspired by Christianity or the Virgin Mary or something, or maybe not. But I always get that, and I always get all deep, and I want to say some Our Fathers, Hail Marys, and be like, Lord, thank you for that song, Our Lady, Deep Purple. A fucking awesome song, you guys. Is this album awesome? No. Woman from Tokyo is the big moment. And then after that, you're just like, even if you're a hardcore Deep Purple fan, you're going up and down and you're like, okay, like, dude, you guys, what the fuck are you doing on this album? It's all confusing and just like, it is hard rock. It is like, metal, I guess. I don't want to call it that, and we all know how Jimmy Page gets offended if you dare call the Mighty Zepp metal. And I'm sure Deep Purple too, like Ian Gillan, he'll come up and sock you right in the fucking nose if you call these guys metal. But it's like it's all building to Our Lady, you guys. I love that song. And that being said, it sounds like a recycled idea, like from other songs or something before, but I still love it. Me, Clark the Shark. Now, if you read the Wikipedia on the album, things were coming to a head, with the band. Everyone, there's struggles, alcohol and the whole bit, but mainly Ian Gillan versus Richie Blackmore was getting out of hand, and it was getting ugly. Richie wants to slap down on his knees, the crowd, high fives, low fives, whatever. People are grabbing his guitar, he's swatting their hand away. And then Ian's like, well, if you don't want them touching your guitar, don't fucking get down on your knees and, play your instrument. Why you fucking do that? And Richie's like, fuck you. You don't tell me what to do. It was like that, you guys. And sadly, when Ian Gillan left the band, then of course Glover left. And then there were three, you guys, a la Genesis. And they found, I guess Glenn Hughes, and who screams really awesome from the bass, and Coverdale, who of course is an awesome singer, but I never accepted that Deep Purple, you guys. Even though Burn is fucking amazing, what a song. I would say Burn by Deep Purple, or by the new Deep Purple, one of the greatest songs of all times, plural. Right there with like Stairway and Won't Get Fooled Again, and Baba O'Reilly and all that shit, dude. Sympathy for the Devil, Black Dog, Rock and Roll, dude. Burn is so fucking awesome, but it isn't on this album, you guys, and it is not with Ian Gillan, the great one. Dude, I'm sorry. Everyone knows Clark the Shark is the great one, but today, dude, I'm taking off my crown and I'm giving it to Ian Gillan, who's fucking amazing. I'm going to call him Nigel Gillan in honor, because the way this band collapsed like Spinal Tap, this is the band, you guys. I don't care what anyone says, that the movie Spinal Tap was based on. I think it was another band, but to me, the way these guys bicker and fight, and it's really just the two guys, but it's a lot of fighting, and it could come to blows and get violent. And then John Lord would be like, fuck this, both of you, knock it off, and then, Ian Pace is a really kind of meek, friendly guy on drums, but he's a kick-ass, amazing drummer, dude. You don't want to say the wrong thing to him. And then Roger Glover is just like this jovial, he hangs out with everyone. But like, he should have stayed, when Ian Gillan left. And there should never have been a Glenn Hughes in the band. But out of loyalty or whatever, or honor, dignity, integrity with his buddy, and who knows, Ian Gillan's like, you better go with me, mate, or I'll strangle you and I'll kill you. And Roger's like, oh, of course, mate, I'm going with you. We're leaving the band together, just as we came into the band together, mate. Yeah, don't worry, I'm with you. And now today, Deep Purple are, weirdly, John Lord's gone, Richie's old, and now there still is a very active Deep Purple for the last many years with Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, and Roger Glover. And there's no Richie, weirdly. I mean, how can it be Deep Purple without Richie, you guys? I mean, that's my view. But this album, listen to it. You might really like it. And if you were born in 2006 and you're, I guess, 22 here in 2024, you're born, 5 years after Mohammed Atta and those terrorists flew those jets into my World Trade Center Twin Towers in New York City. Clark the Shark Show. If you're 22, 21, I want you to get into this album, but of course, get into all Deep Purple and buy their albums. And go see them live. Why not? They don't got Richie, but dude, still they're, it's like you're witnessing legends who are going to die soon, or just, old guys that like relics or monuments, you guys, institutions. You got to see it. me, Clark the Shark, I won't, because I'm like, it's got no Richie. I have my principles, you guys, but you know what? Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, everywhere online, buy this album and ignore the critics. Weirdly, critics are torn on Deep Purple. They want to like them. I think Lester Bangs even liked them or something, you guys. I mean, because Zeppelin came onto the scene and it was confusing. And there were these great grand masters of rock, like The who suddenly had to take a back seat. It was weird, or even the Stones. But Deep Purple are like, we're not taking a back seat to anyone. And, it is kind of weird. These guys don't really get the love or reverement or regard or respect or something today, along with Zepp and The Who and the Stones and all that. And yet they do, you guys. To a musician like me, yours truly, Clark the Shark, I like them and I respect them the whole bit. I do. Here on the Clark the Shit Show. To me, these guys are every bit as right there with the Kinks, The Who, Zeppelin, Dirk McQuickley and the Ruddles, Beatles, whatever they're called, Ron Nasty, John, David Bowie, all of them, the greatest, Rush, or, come on, dude, Rush is outside of that. But those bands on the inner circle. Deep Purple is on the edge. They struggle to get into that top thing, To me, the top bands of all times, I don't want to put Zepp in, but I have to. The Beatles, the Stones, the Who, and the Kinks. And then that's the bullseye in the center. But then as you go out, the Doors and Deep Purple are right there trying to get in, and Bowie, kind of clamoring to get into the inner. You can't get into that inner club. That's reserved for those 5 bands. Dude, forget Elvis. I'm not talking about him or stuff like that. But just talking rock and roll, hard rock, or 60s, 70s rock. Yeah, you guys, Deep Purple should be in there, but they're right knocking on the door. They're on the fence, teetering, falling out or falling in. And yeah, dude, to me, Clark the Shark. But to a lot of people, they're like, who are Deep Purple? We never heard of them. Dude, that's a shame and that's a pity and that's a damn unfortunate circumstance, because Deep Purple belong amongst the greatest of all time. It could be Blackmore versus Ian Gillan. Gets boring and everyone's like, fuck those guys. They just fight, and it seems like all 5 guys are fighting the whole band. It's not. It's just those 2 guys. And then the other guys were like, Roger, stay with us. And he's like, no, I got to go and be with Ian, me buddy, dude, but now today, those 3 guys are back together and without Richie right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And I can't accept that as Deep Purple, you guys, today. But I want you to go see it, because you're seeing ancient monuments, established institutions of greatness, even at their old age. And they must be 80 fucking years old, you guys, today. But if they're playing somewhere near you, go see them. Why not? And tell them, hey, you guys, I heard it from the Clark the Shit Show, 1-800-449-8255, the Wolfman Jack on crack, from the golden EIB Sharkraphone. Forget the shitraphone, you guys. It's a Sharkraphone. The Sharkadoodle-doo, the Sharkalama-ding-dong, you guys. Better than Steve Garvey. I don't even know if Steve Garvey speaks into a microphone, you guys, but I know that Dr. Demento did. And I don't know. I'm torn, you guys. I may be the greatest of all time, the great one, but I do lag in skills when it comes to competing with the great and immortal Dr. Demento, who I learned about Weird Al Yankovic and shit from. You guys, I'm not kidding around. I love the Dr. Demento show. I don't even know if he's still alive. He's probably gone, just like John Lord and, a lot of people. But I love things that are funny, irreverent, stupid, tastelessly insane, and like 5150, just fucking off the deep end like Clark the Shark, you guys. But be a sharkophant, Don't be a sycophant. I'm not even sure what the word is. Sycophant, like a shark sycophant, or, a psycho fan or a sharkophant, if you will. A connoisseur of sharky musical knowledge. And get into Deep Purple. Who do we think we are? For after all, me, Clark the Shark, who the hell do I think I am, calling myself the Great One, when there's guys like Ian Gillan and Richie Blackmore still on the planet, offering more than me, yours truly, Clark the Shark. Buy all their records, you guys, seriously. Get into the career of this bickering, fighting. They can't get their ducks in a row, get it all on one page. All the cylinders just misfire or something. But when they're playing live and everything's rocking and just, oh, dude, there's no better live band. No better drummer than Ian Pace. No better bass player than Roger Glover. And of course, there is no better guitarist than Richie Blackmore. No better keyboardist than John Lord. You guys, these guys are number one. And no bigger, dangerous, and violent asshole singer guy than Ian Gillan, who, dude, this guy will literally hunt you down and beat you up or sock you or something, or smash your car windshield with a bat. He's dangerous, you guys. I'm afraid to say anything bad about Ian Gillan. I have issues with his singing. He screams and, it's not always clean like Plant or something, but yet it is. It's better. It's stronger, like Child in Time. And it's like, I don't know, dude. He surprises me how he is so good at singing. And then weirdly, he's better with Black Sabbath than he ever was with any Deep Purple album. You got to hear that album, Born Again. You do, you guys, seriously. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Buy this album, you guys. And please tell them you heard it from Clark the Shark, the amazing, gifted Swami, who sees the past, you guys. I don't need to see the future and, elections like Alan licked balls and all that. I see the past. I'm sentimental for the 70s, 60s. Great times. I was just a little kid, you guys. I didn't even really live them. But I did live Deep Purple. Who do we think we are, you guys? Meat and potatoes, solid. Maybe not their best. I don't care. To me, it is their best. I like interesting, intricate, involved, trying, throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks, and often missing the mark. I fucking love it. Me, Clark the Shark. Buy the album. Deep Purple. Who the hell does Shark think he is? Right here on the Sharky Show. And I'm out of here. Peace.